Hey everyone. If you've been wondering where I've been, it hasn't been me having a lot of holiday or winter related fun or activities. Instead, I have been sick, of which I am only now getting slightly over. I would say I'm mostly over it, but not quite. I wanted to nevertheless record something, but I was having a hard time finding anything that would work because part of the problem was I couldn't see and everything was very blurry. I tried a couple games that I knew very well. Like for example, I tried playing through Sonic Mania and including running at every single badnik and hitting it. It was very embarrassing, and then I couldn't get past the Puyo Puyo boss because I couldn't differentiate between the colors. It was pretty bad. So instead of going with that, I just did nothing. I could like barely stand to look at the screen in the first place. But this game, well, first of all, I can see better. Everything's really blurry, but I can at least look at the screen now. And Winter Bells is one of my favorite Flash games. In fact, I would probably say it's my favorite Flash game. You know, back in the day, it used to be like a thing to go and look at random Flash games made by like random people. They were always simple things. This is a very simple game, but I always liked this one. I don't know. I kind of have like a nostalgia for it. I found it pretty early in its existence. As you can see down there, it was made in 2006. And I've made it a tradition to play it every single year around this time, around Christmas, New Year's. So I'm going to play that. It helps because even though my vision's blurry, the game is mostly, I shouldn't say mostly, it's like almost entirely black and white. It's got a little bit of color at the bottom, but it being black and white, mostly black, is easy on my eyes. So I'm going to get started and I'll continue speaking. So here's your how to play, because it's very simple. All you got to do, it's easier to say, you just see your like little rabbit there. All you're doing is you're hitting these bells and you're going up and not falling. When you hit a bird, it doubles your points. So the birds are so important. It's probably best to do everything you can to hit the birds. Because like if you notice, the points that you get from hitting the bells increases by 10. Oh my god. Each time. This is a pathetic score, by the way. But so while like the bells get worth more the longer the game goes on, the higher you get. I'm not sure if there's really is a higher per se. Either way, it's nowhere near as good as just doubling your score. Because the bigger your score is, the more the doubling means. Now, here's a pro tip if you're ever going to play this game. I suggest trying it out. It's a fun time waster. But at a certain point, it's best to not do like this little hopping thing I'm doing, and better to attempt to hit the bells from the bottom. Because as you can see, it doesn't matter. In fact, at a certain point, shit. I blame my blurry sight. But at certain points, it becomes basically impossible to hop from one to the other, and it's best to just like run through like this. That being said, there's also other complications. The bells get smaller the higher you go. Haven't been able to entirely demonstrate that yet because I'm too busy falling. Well, that's about it for this game. However, there are other things that I can talk about, as I definitely wanted to make something, even if I am not at full capacity. I wanted to make a video on, and I wanted to do it in time for Christmas, but obviously that didn't happen. It was gonna have like editing and everything, but I can do it. I can make the arguments free form. It's fine. Sure, around this time you have people recommending their favorites Christmas movies, like A Christmas Story or Home Alone, Jingle All the Way, stuff like that. I was trying to think of like 80s Christmas movies, but I couldn't think of one. Oh, Scrooge, there's one. There's an 80s Christmas movie. Now, in that list, there'll be people, I say in quotes, because people who think this aren't really people. I mean, come on now. But some people think that Die Hard is like a clever little answer to what their favorite Christmas movie is, and then they'll get kind of indignant about like, oh, what, you don't think Die Hard is a Christmas movie? Die Hard is obviously a Christmas movie. It takes place on Christmas. It has themes of returning to family and something. And I'm here to say Die Hard is obviously not a Christmas movie. And in fact, I think this whole thing about like the arguments of if Die Hard is a Christmas movie is like some kind of millennial irony bullshit. Like nobody, for at least the first decade of Die Hard's existence, I think the movie came out in 88, maybe 80 or something like that. It came out in fucking July, first of all, and maybe it came out in 93. Wow, I'm just all over the place with what you... This is why it would have been better to make a video about it. I've been able to check my sources, but I'm just doing this on top of my head. I think it came out the same year A Christmas Story did. Either way, or maybe it was Home Alone. It was some famous fucking movie. Anyway, point is, it came out in July. For at least a decade, no one had even entertained the notion that it could possibly be a Christmas movie. Same thing with Gremlins, by the way, but that's not the topic of this discussion I'm having with myself. And then all of a sudden, I don't know when, sometime probably in the 2000s, once millennials got old enough to start pretending to be movie critics, someone decided like, oh, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. And it's one of those things you say that's like, immediately you think like, no, that's stupid, but then the millennial with his glasses on Reddit will be like, well, actually, did you notice these Christmas-like aesthetics? As if like the aesthetics of a movie are relevant at all to the genre. Although I know that lots of people get really confused about aesthetics. They think that like Starship Troopers is a Nazi movie because of aesthetics. You know, that's probably the most salient counter example I could think of off the top of my head right now. But there are other examples. Like, the point is, just because it takes place at Christmas and like he has a wife to get back to doesn't fucking mean a damn thing. It's not. Nobody up until a certain point was ever thinking this was a Christmas movie, because it's not. And I'm tired of like these fucking people, in quotes, thinking that it is, because it's not. Now I'm sure well, if I was someone who people actually watched, I would definitely probably get some blowback from that. But as it is, unless like Winter Bells is gonna be the hit new video game Let's Play, I'm probably gonna get nobody to come after me, which is good. You know, no one should go after anyone, including even if they are insane and think that think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It's almost enough to make me like hate Die Hard, unironically. But I'm like extremely contrarian. Although Die Hard's a special case because there's other reasons that make me want to contrarianly hate it. Like the fact that, I don't know, what's his name? That guy who did, that guy who does Rick and Morty, or did. I don't think he's working on it anymore. They had a whole Rick and Morty episode about Die Hard. It was the most obnoxious shit in the world. And Community did the same thing, although the whole episode wasn't about Die Hard. They did discuss Die Hard a lot. It's not even the best action movie of that era. Like, although I can see because it at least did. Oh my god, that was the worst thing. I'm trying to go for a score of like 4 million at least. That's usually when holy shit, that wasn't even Okay, wait a second. I already have 4 million. Oh, I guess I could stop then. No. Maybe I meant 40 million or 400 million. I don't remember. There's a particular score that I usually go for that's really high. And it's quite difficult because even under normal circumstances, this game eventually gets harder. I think I mentioned the bells getting smaller. Did I mention that the bells get fewer and farther in between? Probably not, because that hasn't happened yet. I still haven't gotten high enough. Anyway, I think that's enough about Die Hard. It's not a Christmas movie. There's nothing about it that's Christmassy. It came out in July. It wasn't marketed as a Christmas movie. Nobody thought of it as a Christmas movie until, like I said, millennials got their grubby, disgusting hands on it. If you are a millennial, like, buck the trend and don't call Die Hard a Christmas movie. It's like an ironic little actually joke that got way out of hands, and it's time to stop. So enough about that. Another thing that I can take this opportunity to speak on is the state of the channel. I have not been making videos for a year yet, but it's getting close. And even though it hasn't been a year, the year is turning. You know, the wheel is always turning, as they say. So I figured this might be a good... Oh, fuck, that's such a bad thing to have happened. It wasn't worth losing over. That was an accident, but I missed the bird anyway. So anyway, state of the channel. What are my plans going forward? Because I have thought of plans. So I've been attempting ever since I started the channel to make at least one video a week. I think I've averaged that much. Holy shit. But it hasn't necessarily been one video a week. Sometimes I do 2 videos in 1 week, and then sometimes it takes me more than a week to make a video. So, but I think overall it averages to 1 video a week. Now, I would love to increase my output. However, I can barely handle the output I'm going at already. Because obviously I have a full-time job. More than full-time, actually. And it's going to get worse because this time of year is the downtime. That being said, I do think I want to... I've considered this, and I do think I want to eventually switch or like split my channel into Let's Plays and all other scripted content. Because, I don't know, I think most channels do that. Plus, if history is anything to go by, my scripted content is probably going to do better. And it's like bad for the algorithm if I like have a fairly decent video on some stupid thing that's scripted, and then I post a Let's Play on a game no one's ever heard of, and then no one watches it. But then it doesn't bother me that no one watches some video game that no one's ever heard of. Like, that's kind of the point. I mean, not that no one watches it, but that no one's ever heard of it. But the algorithm, you know, we're all a slave to the algorithm, so it seems like a good idea to, like, cordon off that content. I'll probably make an actual announcement video when I knew that was gonna happen. You know, sometimes they strategically place the bells to fuck with you like that. As I was saying, I'll probably, when that time comes, I'll probably actually make a proper announcement video rather than sneaking it in to, Winter Bells. Although if you are watching Winter Bells, then you have that sneak peek, you have that, knowledge. Now, speaking of scripted content, I've had a completed script for Elder Scrolls lore on the back burner. It's already completed. I just haven't been able to do it. I was planning on doing it over the holidays, but as I said, I could not even bear to look at the screen, so I couldn't actually read what I wrote up until like today. Basically, I can read it. That being said, because editing, at least for me, is the part that takes the longest amount of time, so it'll still be a while before that drops. It's also not on the whole Thalmor thing that was my last Elder Scrolls video. I have another half written. I have that. How do I phrase this? The sequel to my Man Mer Schism video is in the works. I've been writing it for basically since I stopped, or since I posted the last video. I'm like partially concentrating on these bells now. They're getting displaced. Oh no, my legacy. It's all over for me. Yes, that's what you wait for. You wait for the rabbit to be so high that it falls down below the screen. Anyway, I've been working on that basically since I posted my Man Mer Schism video, and it's so long. I don't know why I thought that it would be easy. I thought that, like, oh, going over every single kind of Mer it's gonna be simple. This will take no time at all. And instead, like, I think I spent like 10 days on it, and it's already 3 times, like 3 days solid. All my free time was devoted to writing this script. And then it ballooned into 3 times as long as the Man Mer Schism video, and I wasn't even done. I was like only 2/3 of the way done, and at that point I was like, okay, this can't be my next video, my next scripted video. It's too long. It's hard to focus on one thing for so long on your free time. Sometimes you actually want to, I don't know, do something else. Nevertheless, it is still being actively worked on. Like I said, I took a break and did another video script, which is done. I just need to record and edit it. That's gonna go first. I have another scripted video on... I almost don't want to say. Yeah, I'm not gonna say. I have another scripted video that I'm working on too that is, let's say, ambitious. Especially for me, because I have no experience in anything. I'm just a guy. I didn't know anything about how to do YouTube until I just decided to do it because I wanted to. I thought it'd be fun. So that's what I've been doing. You can look forward to those at some point once my eye gets better completely. Because even if I can read the script, it can be hard to go around and look for images and memes, or make memes sometimes for my editing. Did anybody who actually subscribes to my channel see my stupid what? I already forgot the name of that game. Dustborn, that's it. I had to like pause and like calculate. There are so many Dustborn-esque games that I couldn't remember which one I actually made a joke about. Full disclosure, that wasn't even my joke. I mean, it was my video. I did the editing for it. But not that it was like a major edit, but it wasn't my joke. I was watching with a friend. I was watching a Let's Play of it because I quite enjoy it. I think the game, I mean, I think it's funny, really funny. And as we were watching this Let's Play we got to that part, and it said 6 months earlier, and my friend said 10,000 years later, and then we started riffing about like what could be the case 10,000 years later. It was like, oh, Nier is literally 10,000 years in the future. And then I did the calculations, and I almost did Nier like the original Nier, but Nier Automata is funnier as a transition. I thought it was funny in a way. Well, I think that's about it for topics that I could talk about. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the admittedly nonsensical video that I just made, just so that I had something to make, because I could see this game. I'll probably... I don't know, it depends on when I get better, when I can actually see correctly. But I'll get back into the swing of things as soon as possible, whenever that is. That being said, I'll see you guys later.